right, everybody, we're a couple minutes after, but let's go ahead and get started today. I'm sure people will continue to join us, but we got to get the show on the road. So, Dave, if you would share the flag with us. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dan, would you give the invocation for us, please?
Yes. Father, we call upon your name once again, and that, Lord, you would remind us of your words about being peacemakers, and that we'd exchange lying, hypocrisy, and vengeance for listening, peacemaking, and servants' hearts. Help us continue serving those in our community in need. And we lift up this morning Dick Berman and Ruth as Dick's transition into a nursing facility, that you'd be with him and give him peace. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. All right, our guests for today. We've got some speakers from the Deschutes Public Library to give us some updates on a few things. So is it Chandra or Chandra?
You were correct the first time. Good job. It's
right.
Chandra.
Chandra, okay. And then I also have Erica down.
So Erica isn't going to be here. It's myself and Todd.
Okay, and Todd. All right, welcome. Thank you, guys. All right, and then we also have some visitors from Michigan. Thanks to Zoom, we are able to have visitors from clear across the country. So Chris and Daryl, welcome. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Do we have anyone else from your club, or is it just you two so far?
Just us two.
Okay, all right.
Cheryl, where are you guys at in Michigan?
Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Kalamazoo?
Yes. It's Southwest Michigan. We're exactly halfway between Detroit and Chicago.
I'm aware. Brought up in Flint.
Yep, that's about it. That's about it, Chris. You got it.
Their group is called Kiwanis Kalamazoo Sunrise.
Yep, we're a breakfast club.
So we get up at 7 in the morning and have meetings on Friday. So if you folks wanted to join us, you'd have to get up at 4 a.m.
Right.
Easier for us to come visit you than the other way around, unfortunately.
Yeah, so from what I understand, you guys are having the same challenge we are with the inter-club visits. So many clubs aren't meeting right now that we're kind of having to search for those clubs that we can do the inter-club visits with.
Correct. And I'm in charge of that for our club. So yesterday and today I started reaching out. I just started Googling different Kiwanis clubs across the country, different places where I'd like to go visit myself in person. Oregon has been on my bucket list for a long time. So I've also reached out to
our president wants to go to Hawaii. So we're going to be going to Hawaii soon.
All right.
Hawaii's on our list, and Key West. And so I'm trying to get all the four corners connected. I've even reached out. I was talking to somebody in Canada, just north of you guys, near Vancouver this morning too. So we'll see if we can set something up with them. That will be interesting too.
Yeah. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, so for our announcements, I don't have any birthdays to announce this week, but the Redmond School District is still looking for school supplies. So if you're interested and haven't had a chance yet, drop off for supplies is at Umpqua Bank in Redmond. And if you want to do cash, check, or gift card, those can be accepted at Western Title. So if you're looking to do that, that's still ongoing. And let's see, any other announcements today from anyone else?
I have an announcement.
Okay.
Dan Tippy's unable to be here today and asked me to announce the Jericho table is this Friday night. Our monthly turn to serve food to the homeless. Alan Unger, are you still available on Friday night?
I am, but if anybody else wants to do it, it's real easy. They can, but otherwise I'll be there.
Okay, Alan is there. Do we have others who are available Friday from
I am.
4:30 to 6? Linda
Yeah.
and anybody else?
Carl, I have it on my calendar.
Okay, Chris. Excellent.
You usually don't, I mean, the last time I did it, we were there gone 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's putting things into a dish, handing it out the door, very little cleanup, very little work.
Great. Well, I've got
we could play bridge.
Have to teach me.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Carl. And Linda is also one of our guests. So Chris and Daryl, Linda is one of our former lieutenant governors. Linda, which club are you currently tied to?
Basically Cascadia, which I would certainly invite Chris and Daryl to. They are an internet club, and we have members in Canada and Washington and Oregon. And so when we meet at 6 o'clock on the first Monday of the month.
And they're almost all former lieutenant governors or current lieutenant governors.
Yeah, and a couple past governors for the district.
So it's 6 p.m. the first Monday of the month?
Yeah, so we just this last week, so the next one will be, I think, the 1st of March. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So how can I get the information for those?
Basically, if you Jackie Sue McFarland is who is the past governor for Pacific Northwest, is our current president. And but if you just go on Cascadia Kiwanis, you'll find it.
Okay, I will look for it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I have an announcement.
All right, go for it, Ann.
Okay, I attended the meeting of Redmond's Flag City Committee, and a couple of things affect us. This year's the 30th year that we've been putting out flags, and the committee wants to do a big celebration. So far, the plan is to tie it to the annual big car show that we do and put up some kind of tents and tables in front of, or out in Centennial Park, maybe in front of City Hall. That will probably be August 21st. The mayor was in the meeting. He didn't commit, but he's hopeful that we'll be able to do the car show, that the virus will have relented enough that we can do those kind of events. So the upshot of that is that our Oktoberfest would also probably be able to go forward. So that's a positive thing. Apparently Randy, I don't know if you're on here. The other thing is they're going to probably start requiring the drivers for the 8 trailers we have now be trained or demonstrate a skill level. And I think Randy Marvin's going to coordinate that for us. And the first Saturday in May is going to be the clean out day. They're going to need volunteers, and they'll want volunteers for the August 21 event as well. And that's it.
Thank you.
Sure.
So Chris and Daryl, so a little background on that. Redmond, Oregon is one of only a handful of towns in the United States that are designated as a flag city. So if you look up Flag City, USA, so Ann says there's only 2 right now. So it's very prestigious. We're very proud of it. But what that means is many times a year, definitely on the major holidays, but others as well, we have people that go out and set up flags all throughout the city. And so there's pretty much any major thoroughfare is lined with flags, and we're slowly expanding to where there are so many of our streets that are just fully lined with flags for all of these holidays, and it's quite the thing to behold. So it looks like Dave's going to share a picture with us. But it takes a lot of manpower to set those up and take them down and clean out the holes that the poles go into. Like Ann was talking, we're looking at maybe training some drivers that are pulling the trailers, but it's quite the thing for us and we're very proud of it. So they're just making some updates to the program, and sounds like the next event is going to be May 1st for the flagpole clean out in preparation for our holidays that are upcoming.
Aren't there somewhere north of 1,700 flags that get put out?
Wow.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The only other congressionally recognized flag city, I forget, I think it might even be in Michigan, has about 400 flags. So we feel superior.
Every one of those flags is also a memorial flag. It was flown over the Capitol. It has someone's name that's meaningful to a family attached to that flag.
Good point.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So next up, we've got Happy Dollars. So who wants to go first? Who's happy today? Earl, I saw your hand first.
I've got 5 happy dollars. First of all, I'm happy that we collected over 477 pounds of food Saturday. We now have collected over a ton of food, and our next pickup will be in March. So I'm really happy about that. I'm happy that the snow today was fairly light and is now gone. And the rest of the happiness is for all my family and that they're still healthy. So appreciate that.
Thank you, Earl. All right, go ahead, Dan.
5 happy dollars. First of all, once again, my granddaughter Adley is home and doing well, progressing. Thank you all for your prayers, concerns, but she's home in Costa Mesa, and their ongoing every 3 or 4 weeks trip to Stanford have been very positive. My wife's mother's home from the hospital and surgery. She's doing well. And finally, we're taking off next week for a couple weeks south in the Phoenix area. May even get in a baseball game. So thankful for that. And I'll think of you all while I'm down there in the sun.
Ann, I see you.
Yes, so I have a combined sad and happy dollar. Our daughter, Hannah, has gone back to Ohio. So we're sad not to have her in the house after 10 months. She's certainly become a daughter. The sad part, another sad part, is she's totally reverted to being a junior in college, out on her own and having fun back there. So they're testing for the virus frequently, but the kids will be kids. So I have to stop worrying. I'll go $5, I think I said.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I keep seeing Cindy. I'll let Cindy go, and then Mike, I see your hand too.
Okay, this may sound kind of trivial to those of you who don't know my daughter and her dog, but my daughter and her dog are like inseparable. Recently, my daughter's dog almost died. He has congestive heart failure, and she, by the way, she is in New Orleans, so it's not like I can go put my arm around her. And, you know, of course, there's COVID. You really can't do that anyway if they're not living with you. But she was very, 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 very upset. Well, today, the dog has been in the vet clinic for 2 days now and not coming home. He's in an oxygen tent, of all things. And so today, I guess he is bright-eyed and eating and responding well. So I'm going to put in 20 happy dollars because that's the level of concern we had for him. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mike, you're up.
Okay, I'll go for 5 happy dollars. I had a fantastic Sunday. I got to watch my grandson play hockey. Unfortunately, his team lost, but he scored 2 goals. And my daughter does FaceTime with me, and Also that day, I got to watch the women's basketball team win another game. We've got this gal that came to school, started in January. She should be a senior in high school, but she's playing now for the Beavs, which is really great to see. And then got some fantastic rides in yesterday. I got 25 miles on the road bike and topped it off with another 7 miles on the mountain bike. So things are good.
Has the mountain bike kicked you off yet?
I've had some close. Yeah, definitely going up some of the hills.
All right, anybody else? Carl.
Well, after being a lifelong Republican, I no longer am. So I have five happy dollars for that reconciliation.
Good job.
All right, anybody else? Nope, I don't see any hands. Okay, so for those of you visiting us, if you're not familiar with Happy Dollars, our group believes that there's enough negativity going around in the world. We would rather focus on the things that are positive. So we share something that we're happy for or several somethings, and those would go for a donation of $1 a piece or more, as you can see. And then our treasurer, John Duff, sends out an invoice at the end of the month and lets you know just how happy you've been. But it's a way for us to raise a little bit of funds and give back in different ways. So we're happy to do that.
Rachel, we could also pay on the website too.
Yes. Yep. There's a spot to go in and pay electronically via our website. So it makes it really convenient if you like to pay it that way. So, so that's Happy Dollars. All right. So joke of the day. This is in honor of Hannah. So Truman, make sure Hannah can hear this. You're on mute. All right, there she is. Okay, so Hannah, joke of the day is in honor of you today. So the question is, what should you do if you're attacked by a group of clowns? What should you do if you're attacked by a group of clowns?
Laugh.
Nicole, you got it?
Jump in their car and drive away?
All good guesses, but the answer is go straight for the juggler.
Oh, funny.
That's so good.
All right, Chandra and Todd, it's all yours.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to start off. And so just to, I may look familiar, as visited with you recently, but I am Todd Dunkelberg. I'm the library director for Deschutes Public Library. And Chandra is our youth services supervisor for our libraries. And normally I would say that it's nerve-wracking to speak in front of a group of people, but after that joke, we can only go up from there. So we're in good shape. And let's see, I'm going to attempt to share my screen, which it looks like that will work. And whoops. There we go. Okay, and hopefully you're seeing the slide of the Grow with Their Library card. Yeah. We did just complete our 100th year at the library. And so we're now working on year number 101. Just to put in context, we do have libraries in La Pine, Sun River, Sisters, 2 in Bend, the East Bend Library and the Downtown Bend Library, and of course the Redmond Library. Just kind of give you a sense of how many people use the library. In our last full year, we don't quite have the numbers with COVID, but we had over 800,000 visits to the library. And just looking at the size of our county, that's a pretty significant number. We actually compare that with organizations and businesses around the county, and we are one of the highest uses in the entire county. Just really quickly, some things that you may not be aware of. These are things that you don't really see when you come into the library, but we do a lot of outreach out into the community. A big one we have is our senior outreach, where we have book clubs out at senior centers, and Library Rendezvous, which is where we work with homes where they take their van and we set aside times in the library, kind of low use times, quieter times, where seniors can come and browse the library. We do a lot of work to get out to the Latino community. That's a real challenge for us, and a lot of people that are new to our country, actually they come from areas that don't traditionally have public libraries. So we do need to start off by, one, letting them know about our free resources, and then also letting them know about the programs we have. So we do a lot where we go to where they are. Some of the online things we're doing now are a great way to reach out as well. And then we have many people in our community that just cannot get to a library, whether that's through a physical disability or some other challenge. So we have a program called Homeward Bound, where people that qualify, we actually mail materials to them every year. And then I'm going to turn it over to Chandra to talk a little bit more about what we are doing to serve children in our community.
Yeah, so in all of our libraries, we have youth services staff, and in pre-COVID times, we did story times every week for a variety of different ages. Our story times are always divided by age or a family story time, so that they are developmentally appropriate to that age. A story time that we would do for infants is different than the story time that we do for the 3 to 5 year olds. So in all of our branches, depending on the size of our branch, we would do between 2 up to 10 story times per week. We also had a volunteer program called Read, Rhyme, and Romp, where we had dedicated volunteers who would go out to daycares and preschools in Central Oregon to do story times at those locations. We don't have enough staff to visit every place that we would like to, so we have a dedicated group of volunteers to be able to do that. We also did programming for school-age children, tween, and teenagers in the library using what we call STEAM, which is science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And those are how those programs are based and organized. Also did school outreach. So each of our librarians has schools that are assigned to them. And we go out to the schools and do class visits where we do book talks. We can teach them about how to use databases, how to evaluate websites, all different kinds of things, basically anything that the teacher really wants. We also have the Library Links program that expands the school library by allowing us to deliver school materials to the school, or library materials to the schools, especially for kids who find it difficult to get
Come on in.
delivered to their school. And so last year, staff visited with over 22,000 students in that.
You're headed over to Ben. Okay.
Okay. Oh yeah, there's teens. So we also do the hands-on projects and STEAM programming with teens as well. We have, as it says, looked at our attendance, and we do have the highest teen attendance per capita in Oregon, and that is something we really are very proud of. Teens are hard to entice into the library, so that we've been able to do that is really, we're really proud of that.
Okay. And in addition, we do a lot of programs, and many of you have probably attended some, whether that's lectures, We have cooking programs, artists come in, and we had over 100,000 people attend those programs in the last year. And I'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like in COVID times. One of our big fundraisers for our library foundation is the author series, where we bring in top name authors, Pulitzer Prize winning authors. We are continuing that as we are online. This Sunday, we have Ta-Nehisi Coates will be presenting for the library, and we still have tickets available for that if anybody's interested. We also have a community-wide program called A Novel Idea, where we try to get everybody in the community to read the same book. And we are coming close to our 20th year of that. It's the largest community read program in the Pacific Northwest. And then some other things that are kind of new and also unique for our library. We have a program called Lawyer in the Library, where people can get free time with the lawyer, 30 minutes free. It's a pro bono service provided by attorneys in the county. And we're continuing that right now online. We also have a partnership with Thrive Central Oregon, where people that need connections to social services can actually come in and meet with a counselor, and they will connect them with resources. And that's one where for a lot of people to reach out for social services, there's a stigma involved, and being able to come to a trusted place like the library really is a great way to connect people with resources. So during the pandemic, we have really invested heavily in our digital presence. We have one of the highest checkout per capita of ebooks and e-audio books in the state. And we've invested more in that as many people have been forced to stay home. So we have digital books that you can check out, audio books, movies, so you can stream movies straight from your home. We just added Acorn TV in the last week, which Chandra's very excited about. That is really a lot of British series, and again, all of that's free to you. You just log in and you can stream that straight from your home. All of our programming went online as soon as the pandemic started. Our adult programs are actually, we've actually gone up in attendance since the pandemic started. And at first we were kind of surprised by that, but it kind of makes sense. But for example, if we had a program at the Redmond Library and the room only holds 30 people, when we do it online, we actually have the ability for many more people to attend a program. So that's been very, very popular, where some of our programs are reaching 300 to 500 people. And then also, we're doing a lot online with our children's programs. I'll have Chandra talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, and just as a note, all of these programs, if you aren't available at the time when it premieres on Facebook or YouTube, they are on YouTube, so you can go and watch them later. We have entire playlists of all of our different types of programs we're doing, and so you can check those out and watch them at any time. So when COVID hit, we immediately pivoted to doing online story times and family programming in teen and tween. So every week we do 2 story times in English online, and we do one on Spanish, or one in Spanish as well, every single week. And then every month we are also doing a program for teen or tweens, and then a family STEAM program. During the summer, we ramp up our programming. So we have a lot more programming during the summer months when kids are out of school. So last summer we did a lot more. We did a program every week for kids, 1 program for families every week, and 1 program for teens every week. And if you missed them, you can still go online and do all the really fun and crazy things like making caterpillars or indoor snow or all different kinds of things that we have online. We're continuing that. And right now we are also, of course, working on next summer. I know there's snow outside, but we are actually full on into planning our next summer programs. We are also doing virtual school visits. So as kids have not been physically in the school, teachers have contacted us and our librarians have done virtual school visits, just like they would a physical visit to their virtual classroom to do database instruction, book talks, anything that the teacher wants.
Okay, so right now, kind of the status of our library, we've actually been open since last September, and we are on shortened hours, but all of our buildings are open. We open at noon, and we have really set up a very safe method for people to come visit the library. We make sure that there's plenty of social distancing. We actually went beyond the governor's recommendations to limit the number of people in the buildings. And at the same time, all of our staff, everybody that enters the building are required to wear their masks. We do have, right now, we limit the amount of time you can spend in a building to 30 minutes. And as soon as we get out of the extreme category, we will start looking at ways to broaden that. Really neat new service that we've started is the ability to, we have an app where you can actually come pick up your books that you put on hold. And it's a curbside pickup service where you drive up, there's a phone number on the sign, you type in the phone number on your phone, and our staff will bring out the materials to you. So it really creates a much safer way for you to come and pick up materials, especially if you have yourself or other people that are in a situation where you do not want to have more contact. That's a great way to use our library. So I really encourage that if anybody's interested in that. And so one of the big things for those of you out in Michigan, you may not know that Deschutes County is one of the fastest growing counties in the entire United States. We actually typically rank up among the top. I'm not sure where we are today, but even with the pandemic, we're continuing to grow. And that creates a real challenge for us with the fact that our buildings were designed for a much smaller population. So I'm very happy to, with the fact that we just passed a very large bond for us to upgrade all of our libraries, and especially in communities like Redmond, where the population has grown so fast. When I started working at the Redmond Library 22 years ago, there were 12,000 people in Redmond, and our library was actually probably too big for the community. And within about 5 years, the population kind of went past that. And now we're looking at a building that's struggling to serve such a large community. So we're really excited about what we're going to be able to do out in Redmond. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. At our smaller libraries at La Pine, Sisters, and Sun River, we're going to be able to upgrade those to 21st century standards to really upgrade our IT structure, and also to create spaces that reflect the way that people use libraries today. We will be able to expand our downtown Bend library because we'll be able to move out a lot of services that we use for centralized services and open up a lot of space that isn't being used right now for the public. So that's going to be a very exciting step for downtown Bend. And really exciting for Redmond is we will have the ability to go from a 20,000 square foot library to over 40,000 square foot library. And to put that in context, if you're familiar with the downtown Bend library. This library will be bigger than the downtown Bend library. And along with that, that's going to allow us a lot of, some exciting new children's spaces. We really are interested in having a lot of interactive activities available for children. That's one of the things that when we went out and talked to the community, as we were designing these buildings, and all of these are conceptual, we'll actually do much more work for final designs in these buildings. But people really talked about the desire to have, again, interactive spaces, to have the best technology, and also to have a lot of meeting spaces, both for large meetings and small meetings. So this envisions that opportunity where we would have some one-on-one tutor rooms that people could use, larger meeting room. Right now, the Redmond Library is one of our smallest meeting rooms in the county. So this is going to be a huge increase for Redmond. And then kind of central to all this is creating a new central library that will help us serve all of these facilities. And with the new central library and with the upgrades to other libraries, the doubling of the size of the Redmond Library, we'll actually be able to go from about 250,000 books that we have in the county to over 600,000. So that's really going to increase what we're able to do to serve the county. The central library, very much like the upgraded Redmond Library, is going to include a lot of spaces for people to gather, collaborate, study rooms, and again, to have larger programs, and also to have a much more vibrant children's area for interaction. If you're not familiar with it, the new central library is designed to serve the entire county. So we tried to find one that was a spot that was easy to get to from Redmond, from Sisters, Lapine, and Sun River, as well as Bend. So this spot is actually at Highway 20 and Roble Road in North Bend. And that's actually, if you were at JCPenney or Target, if you looked across the highway, that's where that land will be. And that's going to be about 100 to 115,000 square foot facility. So we're very excited for that. So that is our presentation.
I totally forgot to mention something.
Yeah, go ahead.
When we were talking about what we're doing during COVID time, I totally forgot to mention the non-virtual things we're doing. We know that families have, virtual fatigue. They're spending so much time in front of the computer. I'm sure all of you too are feeling the same way. We spend so much time looking at a screen. So we know how important it is to try and find offline things for families to do. So as part of our story times, in each of our libraries, we have created storytime craft kits every week that people can come and pick up at the library, and then they can watch the associated story time and then do the craft or activity that is in that kit. So, I mean, they don't have to watch the story time if they don't want to, but it is on the same theme. And that way it can extend, give them something to do that is offline. We also have monthly, what we're calling grab and go kits for kids, which is a little bit for all ages, not just preschool, but it's the same idea where it is something for them to do, come and pick up the kit at the library, and then something for them to do offline. We are starting to create those for adults and teens as well. It takes a lot of staff time to put these together, but we know how important it is to try and provide real physical things for people and families to do. So I apologize that I forgot to mention that before, but that's something that we are also doing during this time.
Okay, so we will open it up to any questions out there. I'm sure there might be some questions about what's happening with that new library in Redmond.
Todd?
Yeah.
When I looked at the diagram or the picture you had up there, the proposal of the Redmond Library, it looked like it was going to be a 2-story structure. So you're looking at doubling the size by going up.
Yes, and so we still have some decisions to make there on whether we expand on the current facility or we actually start with a completely new facility. And that'll be part of our planning as we start working with architects as we come up on that. But based on the amount of land we have there, in order to actually have some parking, it's going to most likely need to be a 2-story structure.
Well, it's nice having it downtown, right where it is. That makes it a very nice location. So I hope when you do your planning, that's taken in consideration.
Yes, we very much want to stay where we are. So yeah. Okay, Cindy.
Are you able to share materials with other libraries? I do a lot of genealogical research, and I've really appreciated being able to snag a book from the East Coast and take a look at it for a while.
Yeah, so we have a service we have called Interlibrary Loan, and you can actually check with our staff, and actually we have the ability to get books from almost any library in the United States, and actually sometimes outside of the United States. So that's kind of a hidden service we have. Not a lot of people use it, but we have people that do research. Sometimes we have professors that need materials that are just way more esoteric than the general public will want, and we can actually have those delivered. So that's a great resource. Also, if you are interested in starting genealogy, we have Ancestry Now database that you can access through the library for free. Oh, and I forgot to mention, if any of you subscribe to magazines, we actually have thousands of magazines available online, many of them probably ones that you're already subscribing to, that you can get for free online. Okay, Rachel.
I love to see the collaboration with the community and the schools and how involved you guys are. The programs like the Lawyer in the Library and Thrive, how often are those types of programs available to people? Are they just there on a daily basis, or are there certain days a week?
The Lawyer in the Library is a program that we actually do weekly. It's mainly been housed out of the downtown Bend Library, but with it being online now, it's really open to anybody in the county. And we've done kind of here and there, we've had special events where we've had attorneys come in to Redmond to set that up. And then the exact, with changes with COVID, I'm not sure the exact setup for Thrive right now. But that's one that normally they're open on during regular hours. So set schedules. Okay, well, if there aren't any more questions, I really appreciate the chance to come and talk with you all. And really, it's a really important piece as we move forward with these building designs. I really encourage you, hopefully I can come back when we're starting to work with architects, because our goal is that the buildings that we build, and especially out in Redmond, because they reflect the values of the community, what the community needs. And so our goal is to really get out to as many people as we can to talk about what that library is going to look like. And not just reaching people that use the library every day, but really everybody in our community. We want to make sure it's something that is of value to everybody in the community for many years to come.
Thank you, guys. I think you're doing a fantastic job, and we definitely really appreciate you and everything you guys do for us. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, that's it for today. So your parting thought comes from Napoleon Hill. And Napoleon says, if you cannot do great things, do small things in a great way. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Thank you for joining. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.